You kindly lead in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yes. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Waring is unable to attend this evening, but I suspect he'll be with us on our next meeting. First up, Commissioner Hodges, discussion of minutes. I believe you were absent last meeting.
I was absent last meeting, so I'll have to.
Waring's not here,
abstain.
so we will have to postpone approval until our next meeting. Discussion of calendar, Commissioner Waring is not here, Commissioner Hodges was not here. I do not have any questions or remarks at this point. With respect to previously signed documents, we will have to hold off on that signature approval, Deborah, until the next meeting.
No, two of you can do this.
But.
Approve
Oh, I
the
should-
manifest.
Commissioner Hodges has been able to
Yes.
be, review the previously signed documents. Do you have any questions or concerns with
I
it?
don't,
Nor do I. Motion to pass. All in favor? Aye, the motion carries. Next up, Sheriff Wright is here. Sheriff, nice to see you.
Good evening.
I hope you're having a good summer.
Beating the heat.
Feels good in here.
you got the motorcycle week, that was a big one.
Absolutely. Just another one, another notch in the belt, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So, I come before you, in reference to a contract, RSA 28, says that I gotta come before you when it comes to contracts that are over a year long and have any monetary value of $10,000 or more. This has no monetary value to this. This is a contract for us to connect our radio system with DESC, which is the Division of Emergency Services and Communication. So so the state requires an MOU to be put in place, which is in essence a form of a contract, saying that we will continue to connect to them, keep our infrastructure in place and up to date in order to keep that connection going. If in fact we were to not get an update on our equipment, but state did, we would have a certain amount of time to either come into compliance with them, which they have the Motorola core, just like we have a Motorola core. Theirs, of course, is bigger. I believe they have the K core and we have the M core, and I could be reversing those two. But basically, there's like a hub and spoke type situation. So we can utilize their resources. We can utilize their resources. They can utilize our resources, which is basically tower. They can overtake, or we can overtake an antenna if we need to. So if we were involved in a pursuit, we're headed northbound, we got up in towards the notch, we can actually have dispatch push a button that says Mount Washington, and we can start broadcasting off the top of Mount Washington on the power system. So Commissioner Hodges, I'm sure that you remember back with the state radio, back when it was managed by state. Yep. So it's a little different now. It's a lot more user friendly, and it's not just a conversation piece. It's actually really working. So if we have an update that does need to be done, I should know well in advance. Like I know that our current radio system is due for an upgrade already. So luckily, because of conversations with Motorola, we've been able to say, because we're already connected to state right now, but we have to have the MOU in place in order to legitimize it and to forward. So we've already been able to utilize some of the resources, just like they've been able to utilize our resources. So I know that in August, state is getting a upgrade on their system, which would require us to get an upgrade on our system through negotiations with Motorola, and how our radio system has just become live back in February. They're going to honor updating that equipment on Motorola. So in essence, it's saving us $50,000. So we will still be in compliance and we'll still be able to connect to state. The goal for state is to get all the county sheriff's offices or dispatch centers to connect into the K core, so we can be one massive system throughout the entire state. So interoperability is what's going to be achieved. So this contract does that. It says that we're going to participate with them. We're going to maintain all of our stuff again. And this gives the state the ability to connect to us and us the connection to them.
If these updates, a software update?
Yeah, so all of it is all software driven. So like when I asked what the changes were going to be, they said, well, it's all software. They're gonna put in new versions of Windows, new everything on all the tower sites.
Oh,
So
So we're not talking new
no hardware.
No hard, no
No
hard
hardware.
equipment.
Yep, so no new antennas, no,
Oh.
like all that stuff is still brand new. So this is completely software driven.
That makes,
And all the gateways and the things, because everything now is fiber. And so we're connected fiber, microwave as a combination. And all that stuff is all still brand new. It's just the firmwares and all that stuff is what needs to be reinstalled, new, updated and all that. Plus they have patches and whatever else they got.
the reality is we're gonna have to update software constantly.
Yeah,
Pretty
well,
much. I mean,
so in this particular case, we bought our system 4 years ago. And probably closer to 5 years ago is when we actually secured it. But by the time the money and transfer and then the implementation and everything, of course, COVID didn't help and everything that was going on across the world. So we're kind of like 5 years behind. So I would anticipate that Motorola will probably do something every 3 to 5 years is what I would say is a projection.
Yep.
But again, as we continue with our radio processes, we'll be able to talk about well, when's the next build, and be able to build it into a budget or be able to even leverage the opportunity because this is a resource to the state now. The state will have a stakeholder in our system because it fills a gap for them as well. So we may be able to leverage state funding. And what I mean by state funding is either through their budgetary process or grants. So that's key. So interoperability is key. And Homeland Security is a big thing. So again, we're just trying to take advantage of every opportunity we get to leverage interoperability and the ability to apply for grant funding. And I think this is what solves that. So. And if we want to sever our connection or if state decides they want to sever their connection for whatever reason, this also covers that. We just got to give a 30-day notice so we can make the appropriate
30 or 60
steps. I think it was 30 days is what I had seen. Is it 60?
Yeah.
Okay, 60 days. Like DESC gives a minimum of 30-day notice to BCSO regarding any changes in connectivity. So if there's any change in connectivity, they'll let us know in 30 days in advance, 60 days to sever the connection. So we have an out. Again, this is not costing us anything. The binding action is no more than, saying that we're going to connect and we're going to follow suit until, we decide that we no longer want to, or they decide what have you. But it's 5 years. So
So we need a motion to authorize the sheriff.
Yeah, and I would just like to say that interoperability saves lives. And not only police lives, but civilian lives. When I started out on patrol, we were cross monitoring low band and high band with state police.
Yep.
You probably remember that.
Of course.
And it worked, but it was horrible. And we've come a long way. So I think we need to stay on the cutting edge. And I'd like the county to be a part of this. So I would make the motion, we agree.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, the motion carries.
Thank
You, Sheriff.
and we've done for cutting edge technology, and as soon as we get our fourth dispatch center dispatch spot up and running, like the computer stuff is coming in now, and they're starting to set that all up. But once that's done, and we'll do a grand opening, I guess, of the dispatch center, and wait until you see the actual technologies that we have in there now. It's absolutely phenomenal, and we're consistently getting praises for the radio system and our computer system, how they're all integrated.
Yeah.
And it's working absolutely awesome.
We need to
So
be part of this.
it's really cool.
Good.
Yeah, it's a good place to be.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Bill.
Anything else for me?
No, I think we're good.
Okay, thank you.
So far, so good this summer. All right, Commissioner Hodges, next up, Superintendent Weatherby is here
Hello, Michelle.
Oh, how are
with the request.
How are you?
And you're going to tell us all about it.
Oh, yes, exciting stuff. So my request is to formally request a waiver of the RFP process, allowing me to direct purchase the Tech 84 body scanner. This has previously been discussed at our budget meeting, so it's already been allocated with your approval, of course. Doing my research on all the different body scanners, I came down to two that were what we refer to as plug and play. They don't require any form of modifications to the jail, wiring, floor fortification, because they can be big units. Also, with the possibility of ever going towards building a new jail or making modifications, taking that into mind as well. The Tech 84 is the only model that can be moved without any issues. You can plug it into a 110 and it doesn't require any additional structural needs for the facility. Tech 84 also provides their sole provider in regards to being unique in their system. Also, with that said, in my letter I wrote that they currently have a sale going on in regards to they provide an additional year of warranty, which is very important, as we know. Would save the county $8,900 if we proceed with this purchase. Extends the warranty from 2 years to 3 years at no cost to us. No, sir.
Okay.
Not
Not
that I
this.
ever want to do that. It is a large purchase, as we previously discussed. It is about 142,999. For this purchase, the company will come out and it will be delivered by truck, and they will provide us 2.5 days worth of formal training, the 3-year parts and warranty. And it'd be essential for the facility and other law enforcement agencies, as the scanner can literally have an inmate stand in it. It does the full body scan. It can detect any foreign objects, which is a ongoing problem with the opioid epidemic. People using their body cavities to store drugs, which puts them at risk and the officers at risk, because obviously exposure happens when those things get inside the jail that could cause the inmate or staff serious bodily issues. So with that said, I'm requesting to bypass the RFP process due to the fact that this is the only body scanner that I've been able to locate that can be relocated, and also no additional cost to the county to install, which is very important, as we know. Money's-
Michelle, what's the price difference? You have the 21 down, but you don't have the competition price.
I didn't bring that with me, to be honest. I didn't include that. My apologies. I
Do you remember?
What was that?
Do you remember what it was?
I don't recall what it was. I can look it up for you. I have it.
I can see that just.
I know some of them I was looking at were upwards of over $200,000, and higher. Because I had spoken to John Bossy about the cost of what it would cost for installation as well.
Michelle, do we know what the lifespan of this product is?
Most of the facilities I've talked to, because they are, the Tech 84 is in other counties, I believe Rockingham may have one. They're all over the state. They last a very long time. Because they're not damaged very often. They literally, the inmate steps in it. There's a screen that displays the full body scanner, and then it proceeds from there.
Okay.
So they don't really have a lot of interaction with the machine. So they do have regular updates. According to a quick search, they can go from the Sutter RS can go anywhere between 100,000 to 137.5, and that does they can also have an additional monthly subscription that can be added to that as well.
Do any of the other jails have the unit that you were asking for?
Yes, I want to say it was Rockingham that had it. I can't be positive off the top of my head, but I looked at the machine at the jail conference, and I looked at several others at the same time. And this one was the simpler form of it. It didn't come with, you don't have to sit in the chair, so you didn't have the added components that we would need as well. With the Sutter RS, there isn't, you could lease it or you purchase it. There's two different options for that. That one only comes with a 2-year manufacturer warranty. And also, would require floor issues. We'd have to readjust the floor to hold the unit. Possibly, it depends on where we can put it. And possible electrical issues as well.
So money wise, you're saying they're about apples to
They're
apples.
about apples to apples. The only difference is that the Tech 84 can be moved. And that was the big thing that I discussed at the conference with different vendors, was that you literally put it in and make sure there's a plug in place. And that was the only requirement that would need.
I like that it's about 1,000 pounds lighter too.
Yes,
Small, takes up less room, it's lighter.
And it works as well, obviously.
yes, it's considered low radiation. All of them are about the same. It just boils down to where do you want to put it? How do you want to put it into the facility to ensure that it lasts as long as possible? There's additional models where you can add temperature readings for them. For when COVID was here, they had an additional component to do that. I didn't find that we needed to spend the extra money on that component, as this does exactly what is needed, and other agencies could, if the sheriff could bring somebody in if they thought it was necessary to check them as well without, say, having to do a full medical exam, excuse me, they could literally stand in it and that's it. Some of the other machines I looked at, as I said, you had to have the inmate sit, which can be problematic if they don't want to comply with that. This, again, they just stand in it, it's 30 seconds, it's over, and it pre-feeds on the screen. It would reduce the amount of time we have to hold somebody in confinement to determine if they have something. We usually hold them until they have a clean drug test. And that could reduce our kind of having to shift bodies around to accommodate that as well, because we try to keep them separate in that situation.
Does the company have like a train the trainer program?
They have a 2.5-day program. They'll come to us and they'll provide 2.5 days worth of in-person training. So it's,
And then you'll get a person or persons trained and then train our own. We don't have to keep having people coming in and train.
that would be the key. Is we do that a lot down there. We'll have one person train, and many officers volunteer to take on that assignment. And then they continually provide that training. We do that with our CPR, our taser. Almost all of our training is done by other officers that almost become experts in those areas. So that's what I do with this. I provide as many officers as I can into that 2.5 days, and then continually build it in to our annual training to always make sure that they're complying with it as well, not using it inappropriately, or making sure we do it correct.
Is that a motion, Commissioner?
I'll make a motion that we purchase the unit that superintendent has requested.
I will just speak briefly to Commissioner Hodges' motion. You mentioned that Rockingham is using this product, and there's a lot of correctional activity down there. It's a lot, much bigger county than us, so if it works well for them, it's probably gonna work well for us. All in favor? Aye, the motion carries. Thank you. Is there-
Can I ask you to, I'm sorry, but would you be willing to consider a motion to waive the purchasing policy? That's the actual request, is she's here asking you to waive the purchasing policy so that she doesn't have to put this out to bid.
I'll make a motion to waive the purchasing
Thank you.
policy.
Second,
And
all in
just-
favor?
Aye.
Aye, the motion carries.
And just to add, I do know that they just put this into the new youth detention facility about 6 months ago, so I can definitely say I know it's there, just to add that information for your knowledge.
Very good.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thanks, Michelle. Take care. Commissioner Hodges, we have donation. The donations from Ruth Larson and Hunter Taylor in memory of Linda Johnson, in the amount of $100 for the Gift and Bequest Trust Fund. So we thank Ruth and Hunter very much for their generosity, and we
Make a
happily
motion.
ship. Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, the motion carries. Deborah, do we have other business?
You do not.
We do not have other business. Do we have public comments? Mr. Wood, nice to see you. What are you up to this summer?
There's balance.
I'm gonna be quick. I have a grandson playing a baseball game.
Oh, great.
I'll get there as soon as I can.
And it's been cool.
I'm just here to give you an update on the Congregate Housing Services Program. The legislature put $700,000 into the budget, and it was approved
Oh,
by
good.
the Senate and the House, and signed by the governor. The Housing Authority in Laconia was hoping that perhaps it would be designated for Laconia, but we have to apply for it because there are two agencies that provide these services, Manchester and Laconia.
Mhm.
Laconia has 27 people enrolled, Manchester has 7. So we're hoping that the Department of Health and Human Services will recognize that disparity and give us the amount that we're requesting, but we won't know until later this summer. And I'll keep you posted, but thanks for your support on
It's
that.
our pleasure.
Appreciate it very much.
Just a quick question for you, Patrick. How is your communication going with HHS? Have they been responsive?
That I'm not sure, Mr. Spanos. I'll check with Kathy Bowler, who's our executive director. And she has to fill the application out. But if we can get support, obviously we'll ask for it. I'll come back and let you know.
If there are any delays, please let us know. We may be able to assist.
That's great.
Well,
Really
at
do
least there's
appreciate
hope.
it.
At least there's hope that
There's-
there's money here and
there's
it wasn't
definitely-
just done, so you're still in the ballgame.
If we hadn't done what we've done, there wouldn't have been any funds at all.
Nice work.
So I appreciate your support and your understanding. of it.
Thank you for your efforts. Congratulations.
All right.
Persistence pays off. That's what I've always done.
Yeah, thank you. Talk to you later.
Take good care. Enjoy the
Good
game.
night.
Okay, Deborah, seeing that concludes our regular agenda, we need to make a motion to go into non-public.
No, we're going to not do that pending the return of Commissioner. Ware.
Okay,
I'm
then.
gonna wait for Glenn.
Then I guess we can adjourn this meeting if our work is concluded.
Yes.
Very good, then we are adjourned. Thank you all very much.